So I am inviting my guest on Instagram, and while we go live on Insta. Okay, so you guys on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn, all the channels that we're watching this show on, welcome to iThrive's Wellness Warriors episode 10. This is Mugdha Pradhan, and this show was created with the primary intention of highlighting, bringing the spotlight on what I call as wellness warriors, people who have been doing some really great work during the lockdowns, during COVID-19, during 2020, and who've actually been creating an alternative narrative to the mainstream media's fear mongering and actually bringing about a lot of healing and light and love around them. And in today's show, we have someone whom I have never interviewed before, someone whose bio had a very, very interesting word that I was honestly surprised to see, and I'm really, really curious about talking to her and getting to know more about her. We have Leena Prabhoo, who's joining our Wellness Warriors show this week, and she is the author of a best-selling book. She's the founder of Path to Prajna, and she, in her own words, is a time traveler. So I'm sure my description and my introduction might not really be who you are fully, Leena. Welcome to the show, and thank you for agreeing to be part of the show. I really look forward to our conversation in the next 1 hour. Could you tell the audience and the viewers who you are beyond what I've said?
Right, Mugdha. Thank you so much for inviting me for your talk, I Thrive, and it's my privilege. And you are doing a wonderful job of bringing alternate methods of dealing with the COVID situation and all the stress that people are going through. So, to tell you more about myself, yes, time traveler. I'm a path to Pradnya. It is pronounced as Pradnya, although it is spelled as Prajna because it's a Sanskrit word. And Pradnya means enlightenment of the self and the soul. So we are all on a journey, on a path to Pradnya. At least all those who are joining you on your show are on their path to Pradnya, because everybody wants to be enlightened from within. There's a lot of power within. To tell you a little bit more about what I have been doing since more than 30 years now, I'm a counselor. Path to Pradnya is the name of my book, which is an Amazon #1 best-selling book. I'm a time traveler, past life regression therapist, certified animal telepathic communicator. Won some awards for developing a MESQ methodology, which helps people navigate their life skillfully to live life successfully. And this methodology, which is called MESQ methodology, it won an international award in Dubai in 2019 for being the new age methodology. Yes, thank you. For being a new age methodology which would help people streamline their lives and become mentally, emotionally, and spiritually stronger so that they can deal with whatever situations in life they have without getting phased. And some more awards which maybe you might put in the bio. Now, regarding time traveling, which you are so keen on, time travel, it sounds intriguing and unique, which it is, because as a past life regression therapist, past life means you're not just going through one time zone, you're going through many lives. And through many times, through many centuries, through many decades is a non-issue, but through many centuries. So I help people go to their past life, and whatever issues they have in this life, I take them to their past life where the issue started, heal the energies over there, and the benefits of them are manifested in this life. The only thing is that I, as a therapist, cannot say that when this manifestation will happen in this life, because the universe has to work on the healings that I provide, I facilitate. And all kinds of healing can be provided, not just with the past life regression, but even with the MESQ methodology, which I work in conjunction with PLR. Because even if you have done a past life regression, it is about a particular subject. However, you need to come back to this life and deal with the day to day things in life, right? You need to be mentally stronger, you need to be emotionally stronger, you need to have the right communication skills to deal with your loved ones, your close people, your colleagues. So I work that both these techniques and methodologies in conjunction with each other for bringing about a holistic healing for my clients. And
Lovely.
yes, I'm blessed to be able to heal people. God has been kind, and the ability to help people is a very unique ability. I didn't know that I had these unique skills in me. I just, as a child or as a teenager growing up, I would just know that I can feel other people's emotions. I can read other people's emotions, and that is why I went into majoring in psychology. And then the journey started onwards in counseling, and then various types of other modalities of healing, which are unfortunately designated as alternate healings, but
Mm-hmm.
they should be mainstream healings, because these are the things that we as human beings are born with. Okay, we are born with the operating systems in our life, in our body, in fact. A microchip, just because we are in the computer age, so I'm using the word microchip. This is not a physical microchip, but it is a subtle microchip which cannot be seen, which cannot be felt, or
Mm-hmm.
cannot be in the scientific terms that we know of. It cannot be analyzed. But if you look at it through a wider vision, if you look at it through um, your inner vision, then you will be able to see this microchip. And each one of us is born with this microchip, which has the elements of healing you, which has the elements of activating your full potential. Your As human beings, we are just using about 10% of our brain power, and only the dolphin is the one which is more superior to us. In that sense, it is using 20% of its brain power. And with this 20% that it is using, it has developed its own it has
Mm-hmm.
sonar power, by way of which it can gauge the distance of other fish in the ocean. And to think about that, we too have this ability to develop our sonar power, or the sixth sense, or there are multiple senses, because now, as animal telepathic communicator, I communicate with animals, not just my pets, Choco and Minnie, but with other, even birds and bees. And after knowing how to do that, even with human beings, I telepathically communicate with human beings, and not only of this world, but of the other world also, who have transitioned. And this is a gift which I feel I'm blessed to be able to harness, because each one of us is blessed. I mean, I have these methodologies at my disposal, because it all depends on everybody's karma and what they're meant to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Other people, like a mathematician would have more gifts on the mathematical side, or maybe a cook has more gifts as to create something in the cooking field. So each one whose field is kind of stipulated for them from the day we were conceived, or even before that, when we were in the spirit world. So all these things, each one of us has our own formula of life, which, if you are able to find your own formula of life, and align your thoughts, aspirations, and actions with this formula of life, then your whatever effort you're putting in this life for any particular goal, you will have very less hurdles, or rather I would say that you would have the hurdles, but you will just swim through them. You will just overcome them without any stress, without any trauma. So this is what I help people do as a therapist, as a life coach, as a pradnya strategist. Pradnya, like I mentioned, it's enlightenment of the self and the
Enlightenment.
soul. So I strategize with my clients on how you can enlighten or activate your full potential. So that is a brief
Lovely.
about me.
Lovely, lovely. So actually, a lot of the modalities you spoke about, like, I didn't know this about you, right? That you're an animal communicator as well. I had learned. I've always, just as much as I am interested in nutrition and as much as a geek I am about blood tests and like getting to the root cause and delving deep into people's health. I remember even when I was a very, very young child, I was really attracted to the spiritual realm itself. My mom was somebody who was a meditator, right? Like the first thing she would do in the morning was to meditate, and then she would help me interpret my dreams. Even as a kid, I remember that. So I've always been extremely attracted, and like you very rightly said, I definitely think it's a lot about the lives you lived before, the learnings that you might have had in those lives, the lessons that you acquired, and then the template you're kind of born with in this birth. So it's fascinating to know you're an animal communicator. I learned that I think in like late 2018, in December 2018, from this wonderful, wonderful human called Akshaya. You might know her since she's in the same field. And she taught us something called as interspecies communication. So it wasn't even limited to animals. It was like literally landscapes and rocks and trees and even the smallest bug on the floor, right? And
Yes.
I mean, I don't talk about this too often because, you know, there are people who come to us for the
Yeah, yeah,
science and who
yeah.
come to us for the blood tests and the data. And this is really considered poo and it's considered like something that's not believable. Like, so I don't talk about this too often, but they offer so many insights into this planet that we live on, right? Like sometimes this planet feels like a mental institution. It really feels like the world is going crazy. And then you just talk to the animals and then they'll be like, chill, you know, like it's part of the
Yeah, yeah.
design. It's really, really phenomenal. Um, now, I mean, I have so many questions to ask you. I don't know where to begin, but let's look at the past life regression that you spoke of. So I personally have done this, but this was very long ago, even before I had my daughter, and it was done through Dr. Newton Kondaveti. I don't know if you know of him.
Yes.
Yeah, like he and his wife used to do this in Bangalore and
Hyderabad.
Hyderabad. Yeah, so I actually distinctly remember experiencing three different lifetimes, actually even four, but three very clearly, almost like a story, right? And then at that time, I was still a skeptic. I was still bound by a lot of the laws of
Ifs and buts.
how,
Ifs and
yeah, ifs
buts.
and buts and the preconditions, because I come from a science background. Like I said, I'm half geek and half spiritualist. So I was like, maybe I'm just imagining this. Maybe I feel like this weekend should not be wasted. And you know, maybe I like we have rich imaginations, right? But it felt very real. So how does one differentiate if the experience is actually an imaginary one, or if it's actually a real regression that happened and you went into one of your past lifetimes?
Yes. So the thing is, when I went into my past life for the first time, it was a healing. I actually went to do this session with Dr. Trupti Jain, and to see my father. He had
Okay.
just transitioned. He had just passed, and I was missing him very much. And I thought I will do a PLR to go and meet with him in some life or the other. At that time, I could not meet with him, but there was this healing modality where if you are suffering from any chronic ailment, then there was a session for healing it. And I thought that since I have come here, as a skeptic, like my full family is of doctors, full families of doctors, and even I have a science background. uh, so I said, if I since I've come here, let me just check it out. And then I went through the session, and I saw myself as a bison in a war.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
yes, and in this life, I have this major. I was in an accident, and my neck
Mm-hmm.
had snapped back, and for 18 years I suffered continuous slip disc. Every like I was on bed rest for 6 months. Then I would get up, and 2 3 days I would be okay, and then again I would be back on the bed. So I had gone to many doctors, many scientists, many Ayurveds, many spine surgeons, and whatnot. You can imagine for 18 years I did that. So I said, in this PLR, let me check it out.
Mm-hmm.
So in that life, the bison had, exactly in this life where I had snapped my neck. Exactly at that point, the bison had a spear stuck in its neck. So through whatever the spear was removed, and some energy healing was done, and I came out of it, and I was like, did I really see it? Did it really happen, or was it my wild imagination? Because I do have a very wild imagination.
Yes, I think most of us do. Some of us acknowledge
Yes.
it. Yeah.
So nothing happened for a few days, few months, and I forgot all about it. After 10 months, I realized that for the last 3 months, I was pain free.
Wow.
And for me to be pain free for 3 hours was something unheard of for the last 18 years. So when
Wow.
I was pain free for 3 months, I was like, wow, what is this? What happened? I couldn't connect the dots, but then I connected the dots, and I said, this has to be a PLR session, which did it. So my ma'am, I spoke with her, and she also said that the energies, the pain, the trauma was healed in your past life, and now the benefit of it has manifested in this life. So if
Wow.
anybody could give me that kind of a relief, I was like, I must know more about it. So I trained
Mm-hmm.
myself. I became a certified therapist, and now I'm helping so many people, deal with their issues. And what I realized is, like, once the doors opened up as a communicator, as a telepathic communicator, the so now communicating with the ascended masters and with my
Mm-hmm.
spiritual guides is an
Mm-hmm.
everyday occurrence. And
Mm-hmm.
I help people, connect with their. So time traveling is like, I take them into their past. I
Mm-hmm.
take them into their future to see what their future life is going to be. And there are methods in which you can even engineer your future the way you want it to be. So I
Wow.
find this very unique. And one day I was at 3 a.m., which is the Brahma Muhurta, when the cosmic energies are the strongest, and your divine masters, they channelize any information or knowledge into you between 3 and 5 a.m. And I was meditating at that time, and I suddenly started seeing some movie in front of my closed eyes. Some
Okay.
images started flashing in front of my closed eyes, and I was watching the whole thing as a third person, like something is happening, like you're watching a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point the movie stopped, and I opened my eyes, and it was 4 o'clock. So for one full hour the movie went
Mm-hmm.
on, and then
Mm-hmm.
I sat back and I was like, what was that? What did I
Mm-hmm.
see?
Mm-hmm.
And after I analyzed it a bit, I realized that my spiritual guides and masters had downloaded an entire technique,
Mm-hmm.
methodology to heal people who are addicted.
Mm-hmm.
A full de-addiction technique was downloaded in me, and I was like, oh my god, that is so awesome. If I can do something with it. So from 4 to
It's
5
incredible. Yeah.
so from 4 to 5 I wrote down whatever I saw. Okay, and it
Mm-hmm.
is good that I wrote down, because then after a few hours I completely
You would have
forgot what I had
forgotten. Yes. Yes.
absolutely forgot what I had seen. So I kind of wrote it down in a proper manner, in a way which can be given as a therapy, as a treatment. And I put the word out that this is what has happened. If anybody with any addiction would like to be helped, I would like to help them. And since this was downloaded to me by my masters for free, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's a gift given to me.
Right.
So I give this gift to other people also, who want treatment, who want therapy. So it's free from my
Lovely.
side. Yes.
Absolutely amazing. See, this is the reason why you're on the show, right? You are bringing your ability to connect with source, to connect with your own higher self, to connect with souls who are here to help the ones who need help with, like, just growing and learning. And you're using that ability to connect to kind of bring about healing and help other humans. So I mean, I saw a couple of your posts, and I think I don't think we really interacted in the LPS summit, did we, too much? Because that's the group
No,
I saw your posts in. Yeah, I don't remember talking to you there, but then I saw your post and I was like,
I
oh, this
was
is
there as a
definitely something.
coach.
Yeah.
Yes, I was
Okay.
there as a coach in Goa 2019.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yes, I was doing the playground session, and
Oh,
the
you were in the
title of it
playground.
was.
You were not part of the summit itself, like the 3 day
No, no, no,
thing.
no. I was at the playground. I was doing a
Oh,
playground
okay.
session,
Oh,
and
nice.
Smash It was
Okay.
the title of my
All
program.
right.
Yes.
All right. Nice. Lovely. Yeah. So I actually, what you said about us all having this tiny seed which helps, which is there to kind of bring about our healing and our growth and all, right? So I speak about it to people often and I tell them that that is your unique design, right? Like that's something. So what you do is unique to you. If you tried to be something else, you wouldn't succeed, right? You would like have so much
True.
struggle and so many obstacles, and like if I tried my hand at being a CA, I would fail, I think, 1,000 times before even I got like one success there. So I keep talking about this to people, and then building up on what you said also about us being able to feel each other. Yes, some of us can do that better than others. Maybe we've honed our skills in multiple lifetimes before, and even as kids we did that. But I honestly think every human is really capable of being what I call as an empath, right? Like of being able to feel the feelings, the emotions, the general state of mind of another human being if we are truly able to connect. And I think that is one big aspect of really activating our full potential, being able to connect to another human being so that then we can come together and create something bigger than each one of us. So
Right.
what really gets in the way of that? Why do people have such a hard time doing that? It really comes naturally to people like you and me. I just have to sit in my morning meditation and think of all my patients, my clients, and I know what each one is going through, right? Like I just can feel it. Why is it that, I mean, every human has the superpower, it's inbuilt in a template. Like this is different, this is beyond the skills, right? Math is a skill,
True.
drawing is a skill, right? Cooking is a skill. But this ability to connect with another human being is innate to us as a species. And why is it that everyone doesn't experience this? What's your experience with this question?
Actually, or the cooking or the mathematics, which you mentioned as skill. So initially, we are all born with the talent of doing these things. Okay, the a mathematician is born or a cook is born. You have it ingrained within you. And when
Right,
you hone your skills, you go to the college, you go to a chartered accountants institute, you get your degree. So that is where you are honing your skill, or honing your talent into a skill. Okay,
right.
so the methodologies which we are discussing, the recognizing or feeling of the vibrations, or understanding the emotions of people, or communicating through the telepathy, that is also a talent within us. We are all born with this talent. But when you practice it and when you acknowledge it, first thing is you have to acknowledge it. Like, see, way back
Mm-hmm.
when the science was not so developed, that time how did people travel from here to there? How did the birds, how do the birds travel every season, migrate every season from one continent to the other without a radar, without knowing anything? So this is ingrained in their DNA. Similarly, it is ingrained in our DNA also. However, because of the advent of science and technology and all these methodologies which we thought are going to make our life simpler. Of course, they have made our life simpler, much simpler, so simple that we don't need to use our brains, so simple that we don't need to use our ability to feel other people's emotions. Means
Yes.
it's just so it has taken it away from us. We have It has disconnected us from our natural inborn talents. And then so forget about even forget about even making it into a skill, honing it. So this is what I help people is to convert your talent, inborn talent, into a skill. So navigating life, everybody can do. All of us are
Mm.
navigating our lives, but
Right.
how do you do it skillfully so that you are successful at whatever you do? So navigate your life skillfully to live life successfully, and becoming a master navigator. Why would I call us? Why would I say that I would like you to be a master navigator? Because life is a sea of, this is a sea, it's a journey for all of us. And we are journeying from one point to the other, right? And when we are able to be the captain of our ship, we have to be the captain of our own ship. We have to have all our senses, all our modalities, whatever it is at our disposal, whatever it is that we are born with. We need to be in perfect command over all these things. Your mental quotient, your emotional quotient, your thought processes, everything, your physical self, your body has to be centered and aligned, mind, body, and soul. And that is when you will become the captain of your ship. And when you become the captain of your ship, you will become a master navigator, and you will sail through all your ups and downs in your life, which life is going to throw at you. That is why you are born. That is why we are born to handle all these challenges, to overcome them skillfully, and to nullify our negative karmic debts, and to hold up or collect our positive karmic debts, so that in the future, which need not necessarily be in this life, but in the future lives also. Because what they say is that property, money, bank balance, all these things, you're not going to carry it in your future life. But what you definitely carry is the how you treat other human beings, how you treat yourself, how you deal with the situations in your life. And these are your karmic, this is your karma that you are creating when you are going through your challenges. Like, are you shouting and screaming and dragging other people on the road to get your work done? Or are you being nice to them? Are you being kind to them? Are you being humane? How are you treating the environment? How are you taking care of the birds and the animals and pets? And what are you doing about it? Because we are all in this moment, in this time and space, we are all, even the insect which is like on your table, is on a journey with you right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To be in this time and space and in this zone, all of us are on this journey. So even if you have to, if a caterpillar is sitting in front of you, do you crush it and throw it out, or do you, gently do you gently put it on a paper or something, and then put it out into the into some grass or a plant? So that
Right.
is the difference. So that is the awareness which will come, which needs to come. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
other day, myself, I had a conversation with coronavirus.
Okay.
Okay, as a communicator, I said virus is also a consciousness, is something, right, in
Mm-hmm.
existence. And it gave me an answer, and I was zapped by the answer. I immediately got on a call with all the other my colleagues, telepathic
The
communicators,
other communicators. Okay.
creators, and they had been in a conversation. So I came on Zoom and I aired the conversation. And coronavirus has a very we had a very enlightening conversation with it. And
Okay.
it clearly, yes, it clearly said that, whatever gifts were given to you, means humans, it was referring to us humans. Whatever gifts were given to you, you have squandered them and you have misused them. And I'm a manifestation of the pain and the anguish of you human beings. I'm
Okay.
a manifestation of that. And until and unless you roll back on the greed or the materialistic things that you are chasing, until and unless you roll back on those, I'm not leaving.
Okay.
So it has come to teach us humans a lesson, and in a very it said that don't think of me as your enemy,
Mm-hmm.
think of me as your guiding star. Do these things, roll back, take this opportunity to roll back on whatever it is that the excessive that you as human beings have been doing, and I will go. So
Okay.
until this, so I shared this with a friend of mine, and the funny thing is, arey yaar, human beings would rather die than to improve themselves.
I think coronavirus will honestly vanish when all human beings develop enough courage to realize that we have bodies and we have immune systems and we have our innate resilience, which no virus can really topple if we had taken care of ourselves, right? So
Absolutely.
I mean it's really that, like, if you look at all the statistics, you look at all the data, I mean, beyond uh, just the discussion around what coronavirus told you in terms of what is it that we need to do. So it's right. Like there would be no COVID-19 and the lockdowns and all if humans actually took self ownership and said that, oh, I have done these things. Like most of the people who get really sick are the ones who have really abused their bodies, right? And who've not treated their bodies as a temple. It is really a gift to have a vehicle through which your consciousness can inhabit this planet and do amazing things. And humans don't know how to treat their bodies well, so they eat really bad food, they take in so many pharmaceutical products, and it ruins the internal mechanism of this beautiful biosuit that we have. And then yes, external pathogens can come and in fact really create serious outcomes. So I think, like, next time you communicate with coronavirus, please tell its consciousness that I agree that it'll go the minute humans take up self responsibility and self ownership and, like, start taking care of themselves and not being afraid. But to me, what I've seen, Leena, is like one of the primary reasons why people don't really even think of accessing their full potential or are inhibited by, the full potential can be either your 12 strand DNA activation, or it can just be like, just connecting, like, your inherent connection with source. What I have seen, most people are unable to do that because either the conditioning from childhood is so strong, right? Like the extreme dogmatic conditioning around trying to make everything extreme, like only if you can see it, only if you can hear it, it's real, otherwise it's not existent, right? So completely invalidating any phenomena beyond just real sensory experiences. I think that conditioning, a lot of that happens even at school. A lot of that happens when the parenting style is something that's driven by pure dogma. And I've seen a lot of people actually. So for people, so trauma can do two things. In my own personal life, trauma triggered more of this reach into spirituality and getting deeper into my own mind and my subconscious and understanding my shadow self, understanding that there is both duality in there and everything I do is me only, like there is nobody else, right? But for
Right.
a lot of people, the trauma actually closes their hearts, and if your heart is closed, then you're not going to experience source at all, right? So
Right.
that's what I do work with people. It goes beyond just nutrition. We also help people with their mental health issues, a lot of their emotional issues, because sometimes people end up doing wrong things with their body because of what's really going on in terms of their
Their mind.
whatever's happened in their mind, right, over a lifetime of things. And I've seen that trauma often inhibits people from really reaching out and building their connection with source. So when you see trauma in people, in your clients, the people you work with, what is the what is your strategy? Like, what do you do?
So the strategy is very basic and very simple. It is that I tell them you are blessed. You are
Okay.
blessed with this trauma because it is an opportunity for you to grow.
Right.
When I say that, the perspective suddenly changes for them. It's earlier there was like, why me? Why God has done to me this and that, and what? Look at other people; they're having a blast, and I've been such a good person. I never do X Y Z things, but why this has befallen me? But it
Mm-hmm.
has
Mm-hmm.
befallen you. So when you explain the entire timeline of not just the present, but your past, present, and your future. Why are you here in this life? What is your purpose in life? When you look at it through the spiritual angle, through a universal cosmic angle, you see the entire picture. You don't see it only in the here and now, which people do.
Right.
They see it in the here and now. But when I tell them that you've had a past, or when I take them, that is more powerful also. That is all the more powerful. So when I take them
Mm-hmm.
in their past, and when they see themselves, going through these things, issues with, supposing it's a relationship issue
Mm-hmm.
with, say, a
Mm-hmm.
spouse or a child. So in your past, there is something that has happened in their past which has created this negativity, or this chain reaction, or a domino effect over there. The energies over there are impacted in
Mm-hmm.
such a way that these energies are carried in your soul's microchip
Mm-hmm.
into the your future lives. Okay,
Okay.
and when you are in your soul form, means after you transition from this life and you are in your soul form, that time the soul meets its spiritual guides and masters, and there is a review taken about your life, the life that you had just lived. There is a review taken, and then you say that, okay, these are the good things that I did, and these are the things that I need to do. Then your soul picks up the other people, other souls, to teach you those lessons in your future life. So you have, if you are having an issue with your spouse, hello, you have decided to learn these lessons through this spouse, this individual. A soul contract was made when you were in your spirit form, and then you have come down here, and now you are dealing with this tough life, this situation, whatever it is, because you have asked for it.
So that you may learn
That,
and grow, right? Like you might, the simple reason this happens is so that each person grows in their own self knowledge and like learning more about themselves and becoming more and more closer to source and their higher selves, I guess. At least that's my understanding
true,
of why these lessons come. It's literally
yes,
for your own self learning.
true, but also your relationship with the other person needs to be at a the soul by its nature is a calm and peaceful soul.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you get anguished, anger, hate, all these negative things, so you're going away from your the nature of your soul. And you need to come back to it. And these other people who are giving you pain and trauma and stress are the blessings sent to you, or you have said, you have asked for them, that through these people you are going to learn your lessons and improve the your soul, or cleanse all the burden which your soul has been carrying for lifetimes. And this is the
Mm.
way, see, this is the system, this is the beautiful system which the universe, whoever has made this, whoever has created this universe, this system. So this is the operating system of life. Once you understand this operating system of your life and you move according to this understanding, once there is absolute clarity, and also you need to surrender. Like we as
Mm-hmm.
human beings are taught that all the control of your life is in your hands, everything is in your hands. So there are two aspects to it, that yes, everything is in your hand, because when you're talking about karma, what you create, what your thoughts, actions, and beliefs, what you create with those, are creating your future. Understand? So that is at one level. And when the second thing is, you surrender to the superpower, that whatever it has done for you, or is uh, it has given you, there is a master plan to it which we are not understanding. We don't remember our past life, so there is a master plan to it. So you surrender to the master plan, and then you lead your
Mm-hmm.
life to the best of your ability in this life. Do not hurt anyone, do not hurt yourself, evolve yourself, find out your own true potential, activate it, move along with it, and be nice to people, be compassionate, be empathetic, be loving, be kind. So these are the phrases, these are the punch words, the keywords that life wants us to delve on, to focus on. And instead of that, we are focusing on anger, hate, lust, greed. More and more we want more and more. We are holding these things, okay, the materialistic
Mm-hmm.
things which are which will maybe simplify your life or not. Like we have examples where multi-billionaires are not happy. So it's not that when you get all the money in life, you will be living a super successful, happy life. So there are other layers to it also, which need to
Right.
be addressed.
Right.
So that is what it is.
All right. So now, you said you're doing past life regressions for people. You're also what else is it that you do?
Pradnya
Okay,
strategist. Pradnya means enlightenment of the self and
enlightenment.
the soul.
Okay.
So when I strategize, supposing a client comes to me and says that, I'm having an issue with my child, supposing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I develop a strategy for them, which has all these various modalities,
Mm-hmm.
or steps. There is a step by step system which I have created, by way of which, if you follow that, now it's taken me say 20-25 years to consolidate this step by step system, with all the trial
Mm-hmm.
and error method, with all the research and development and R&D and I did. And it took me 25 years, but if you follow this step by step system, or you will be streamlined maybe within a year. So
Mm-hmm.
so this is the quickest way, the fastest way, and the best way, in by way of which my client can streamline their life and come out of this, wherever they are. They normally come to me when they are in a ditch. So
Right. I
so
mean,
to
we
come
exist to help other people when they are not at
down and
their
out.
best, right? Like, yeah. So,
Right.
yeah.
So that this is the system which I have developed, and follow that system, and believe in it, and understand it, um, accept it, and then the client is free. Because I wanted to create something, like when I got my degree as a counselor from Boston. I came back and I started my private practice, and
Mm-hmm.
I started imparting the techniques and methodologies which were taught to me in school and college.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed that if they came with a particular issue, I would help
Mm-hmm.
them resolve it with all the techniques that were taught to me. The
Mm-hmm.
issue would get resolved, and then they would face some other issue in their life, which they were
With
clueless
similar
about,
pattern because the
which they
underlying
were
root
clue.
cause wasn't, yeah.
Yes, they were clueless about how to handle it.
Mm.
So then they would come back to me that, ma'am, this is how to face this, which got me thinking that whatever has been taught, brilliant people, brilliant creators, with all due respect to them, this was not helping them in a holistic manner to deal with any
Mm-hmm.
and every situation in their life. So that's where my search started, for the operating systems of life, understand life, and over a period of time, through trial and error method, the MESQ methodology evolved. And I'm able to help not just my client, but it's kind of a recognition that when some international community invites you to be awarded for that technique as a new age futuristic methodology, it's kind of, you're acknowledged for the work that you have invested in. It's like a lifetime of work that I have invested in. So it's been a good experience.
Great. So, for the people who are watching this live right now, for people who might come at some later point of time and watch this, because we do have a lot of people who watch the Wellness Warrior show later also. If there were three tips that you could give people, oh, look at
She's
yeah, your
like you
phone.
spend. She's like you spend enough time talking to the other people, not talk to me.
Yeah, but your phone is blocking the laptop
Okay, I'm
camera, so
sorry.
you
I'm
can't see.
sorry.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's okay. So
Yes.
yeah, I was just asking if there are like three tips or some activity or something that you could give to people who are watching this, so that they could apply this immediately and start seeing some level of improvement, or start that self exploration process, or start even like seeing where they are on the path to enlightenment.
Pradnya.
If there were three things,
Pradnya.
yeah, Pragnya. I didn't want to pronounce it wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, right. So the first thing would be to acknowledge that you have all these operating systems in your life. You are born with it. We are all born with it, and we just have to start journeying inwards. Okay, start journeying within. Now, all this time you have been looking outside of yourself to find answers, solutions to your problems. But all solutions lie within you. So start looking inside, get onto your path to Pradnya. I have these, once a week, I have these sessions which are free for people from all over the world at on a Sunday at 8:30 in the evening, where I invite people from various parts of the world to talk to them about these various methodologies, which
Okay.
are which help people go inwards. And there are various angles, there are various ways in which it can be done. There are these healing methodologies, and these experts talk about an aspect of the healing, and then we go into a meditation for that
Nice.
aspect. Like if it is for self healing, then we've done a session on self healing, and then there is a meditation. Or if there is a trip to Shambhala, there's a spiritual city, whole city is a trip to
Right.
Shambhala, where you can heal yourself. And then there are other divine angelic meditation is there. So there are various methods, and I would invite you all to explore these methodologies, which are, like I said, alternate. They are considered as alternate healing methodologies, but we are all born with it. These techniques. So I would
Yep.
just
Yep.
like to highlight them and or bring them to you, and I would like to invite you to be a part of this journey and explore for yourself. Start exploring yourself. Start asking questions to yourself. A lot of people don't want to go within because they
Yep.
are afraid to be with themselves.
Afraid. Absolutely.
They're,
I
they're
have seen
absolutely.
this, that people, especially the ones who pay the victim card, the ones who are doing a lot of blame and projecting anger outwards. When you ask them and when you start working with them to start going inwards, they are terrified, like little children, because they know some of the darkest monsters are actually their own, like
Within.
inside them, within them, right? And then they have to
Yeah.
look at those monsters and become friends with them and then ask the reasons why they created those. Because, and this is what I tell people, right? Like, whether it's your body or whether it's your mind, everything that you do is done as a protective mechanism. Every symptom that the body gives you is a protective mechanism to send you a message, hey, something's wrong, look at me. Like you're out in the sun for too long, you're going to get a headache. Your body is telling you that don't be out in the heat for too long, it's not good for you, get into the shade. Or you're like not sleeping enough and then that exhausts you. So every symptom is your body protecting you and itself. Similarly, even the darkest demons that you might have created inside have come in to protect you when you were a child. Maybe somebody bullied you and you had to like project a very strong self image, and then you realize that anger was a very nice way of being very defensive, right? No one would cross a certain boundary. I mean,
Yeah.
personally, in my case, I used to use anger a lot. Like, I was super aggressive. I was like this alpha person. I had to be like top of everything, another lifetime within this body itself. But I used to
I
use
know that.
anger to kind of ward off people who could have been a threat to my vulnerability, right? So I would use anger. And then when I started doing this inner work, and I realized that I don't need to use that. There are so many different ways to kind of continue to be who I am without really being terrified of bullies and of other people. So the three tips that you gave was, one was acknowledge that there are things going on, because if you're the longer you are in denial, the worse it starts getting. So acknowledge is the first
True.
tip you gave. The second tip you gave was go within, right? Like learn about yourself, go inside. And the third tip you
Yes.
gave was explore different modalities, either meditation or other, like there are so many modalities, but explore all possible modalities. And like don't think of them as alternative, they are actually part of our soul
You're born with
template.
them. Yes, you're born with
Yeah,
them. Yes.
yeah. So these are the
Right.
three tips. If people had to find you, Leena, how do they do that? Where, like you spoke of the sessions that you hold once a week, you spoke of the de-addiction program that you offer to people as a gift. I'm sure a lot of people would be interested in finding out more about that, right? So where do they find you? How do they get in touch with you?
I have a website called pathstopradhnya.com. The
Okay.
spelling is PATH. The two is a numerical two, and PRAGNA. Pathstopradhnya.com. My email address is contact@pathstopradhnya.com. My name is Leena Prabhoo. If they can just do a Google search, they can find me. And
Okay.
maybe you can help them by putting up these details on
I will, I
your
will. I mean,
wonderful.
the team will put this up in the show note, as in the video links in the show notes itself. So it'll be there. Um,
Yes, and my WhatsApp number is 702 People can WhatsApp their message to me, and me or my team will get back to them ASAP. So
all right.
this is how they can find me.
Great. Anything you want to share, because we are it's almost 5:30, so we are close to our end time. Anything that you
Yes.
want to share before we wind up the session?
Share as in for all those who are worried or stressed out about what's going to happen tomorrow. Will their life be the same? Will COVID be there, or how will you survive your family members and everything? Just stop thinking, worrying about the future. Live for the moment. Try to find out who you are, your inner strengths, your inner, raise your vibrations, raise your energy levels through these meditations or through self exploration and self realization. There's plenty of things out there. Understand that you are not the center of your universe, and that you are not the only person in this universe. There are billions and billions of souls, whether they are alive or even dead, or whether they are in this realm or in the other realm. There are billions of dimensions to life. It's not just what
Mm-hmm.
you see, what you get. There are so many other dimensions which we are not aware of. So try to look at life in a 360 degrees view, and even in each degree of this 360, there are maybe 360 degrees within it. So give the benefit of doubt to everyone next to you, because we are all on our journey. We are all trying to live our lives in the best way we can. We are all human beings. We do make mistakes. We do get afraid. We are fearful. We have all these issues in our lives. That's my mini saying that you've done enough now.
Yeah, we've
So
actually, like literally, we just crossed 5:30 right now. We are 1 minute about time, so she knows. All
yes,
right.
so these are the tips that I would give your viewers, that just be in the moment and try to find out what you have in the moment, and what are your strengths and what are your weaknesses. Convert your strengths into further strengths, and convert your weaknesses into your strengths. There are ways to do it. Just explore. Mugdha is there, I'm there. You can reach out to any of us, and we would be happy to help you.
Lovely. Thank you so much. I am thinking we should probably do a session, like maybe the segue into past life regression for my tribe members. So like all everybody who comes to iThrive, we are part of a tribe. Like it's a community healing model also, right? So we do a lot
Yes.
of special things with them, and I'm thinking we should do like one session with you, especially maybe show them that time travel is really possible and how they could get started with it. So maybe we could do
Yes.
a session like that. But I'll
Absolutely.
end the lives now. Your mini is waiting for you, and
Yes.
it was a lovely talk, very different from the sessions I've done in the past. And thank you so much once more for coming on board. All right.
Thank you very
So
much,
I'm just
Mugdha. It's
yeah,
been such a pleasure.
I'm
Take
just
care.
ending
God
it.
bless.
Yeah. God bless you too.